If you are over 60, there is a very high chance you recently walked into a pharmacy, rolled up your sleeve, did everything exactly right, and walked out with a vaccine designed for a 30-year-old's body. And what breaks my heart is that you probably had no idea. You trusted the process. You thought you were fully protected for the winter. But because no one told you the exact medical name to ask for, you received the standard default dose instead of the senior grade upgrade your body actually requires. I'm Dr. Robert Harrison, and every single day in my clinic, I see the devastating consequences of this simple pharmacy blind spot. By the end of this video, that stops happening to you. I am going to give you a specific 5-point checklist of the exact medical names you need to say out loud to your pharmacist or doctor to get the premium, high-octane vaccines your immune system genuinely needs right now. Stay with me through all 5, because number 4 on this list isn't even about protecting you. It's about protecting the absolute most vulnerable person in your family. In fact, let me ask you right now, has a stubborn, lingering winter cough ever caught you off guard? Let me know in the comments below, because later in this video, we need to talk about what you might actually be carrying. Before I give you the first name on this checklist, I need you to understand why this age gap exists. It's not a conspiracy, and it's not that the standard vaccines are bad. They aren't. They save millions of lives and are always better than nothing, but they are calibrated for a completely different biological machine. Think of your immune system like the battery in a smartphone. When that phone is brand new, you plug it in for 20 minutes, it charges to 100%, and it holds that charge perfectly even in the freezing cold. That's your immune system at 35. But after 60, your immune system experiences something called immunosenescence. It still works, it still fights, but just like a smartphone battery that's a few years old, it takes a lot more energy to reach a full charge, and it drains much faster when it's put under stress. When you give a standard vaccine to a 68-year-old body, it's like using a weak, outdated charger on that older battery. Your immune system barely registers the threat. It builds a thin, shallow layer of protection, and within months, that protection fades. You need a high-powered, fast-charging upgrade to force your immune system awake. Science has built these upgrades. They are sitting in the refrigerator at your local pharmacy right now, fully recommended by the CDC and likely covered by your insurance. You just have to know to ask for them. Let's start with the first upgrade, trade, and this is one that catches some of the healthiest seniors completely off guard: pneumonia. Most people hear pneumonia and they picture a bad chest cold, a week of coughing, some chicken soup, and you bounce back. But for adults over 65, pneumococcal pneumonia doesn't just stay in the lungs. It invades the bloodstream. It causes sepsis. It systematically shuts down vital organs. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Arthur. Arthur is a 70-year-old retired architect from Portland, Oregon. He is the guy who makes the rest of us look bad. He ran half marathons, ate beautifully, and never missed an annual checkup. Every year, he got his standard vaccines, including the standard pneumonia shot he was offered. Last winter, Arthur ended up in the intensive care unit with severe sepsis from a pneumococcal infection. He spent 14 days in a hospital bed. He lost 15 pounds of muscle. It took him 6 months just to be able to walk around his block without stopping to catch his breath. Why did this happen to a man in such great shape? Because Arthur was given the older, standard polysaccharide vaccine. Without getting too deep into the chemistry, a polysaccharide vaccine hands your older immune system a very basic, unconvincing sketch of the bacteria. Arthur's 70-year-old immune system looked at that sketch, mounted a very weak, sluggish defense, and quickly forgot about it. He felt protected, but he wasn't. To fix this, scientists developed conjugate vaccines. A conjugate vaccine doesn't just show your immune system a sketch. It physically binds the pneumonia bacteria to a powerful carrier protein that your body already recognizes as a massive threat. It sets off loud biological alarm bells. Even a tired, aging immune system cannot ignore it. It mounts an aggressive, deep, and long-lasting defense. So here's the first name you need to write down: PCV20, also known by its brand name, Prevnar 20. If you are over 65 and you are due for a pneumonia shot, do not just accept whatever vial they pull out of the fridge. Ask them directly, is this the PCV20 conjugate vaccine? That is the premium upgrade. That is the one that forces your immune system to build a fortress rather than a picket fence against an infection that sends hundreds of thousands of seniors to the hospital every single year. While pneumonia aggressively attacks your lungs and your bloodstream, the second threat on our list operates completely differently. It doesn't come from the outside. It has been hiding inside your body for decades, just waiting for that smartphone battery to drop into the red. And the upgraded vaccine to stop it is nothing short of a medical masterpiece. If you had chickenpox as a child, that virus retreated into your nerve tissue and has been sitting there silently ever since. When your aging immune system dips, the virus wakes up, travels down your nerve pathways, and burns its way to the surface. I'm talking about shingles. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a 68-year-old retired piano teacher in Dayton, Ohio. She came to me with a painful rash on her arm. The rash itself cleared up in a few weeks, but the pain didn't. She developed a condition called postherpetic neuralgia. She told me the nerve pain felt like shattered glass, constantly moving under the skin of her forearm. She hasn't been able to play a single chord in over a year because the friction of her sleeve against her arm is simply too agonizing to bear. Many seniors think they are protected from this nightmare because they got the old shingles vaccine years ago. That older vaccine used a weakened live virus. It was like whispering a warning to an already exhausted security guard. It offered very low protection for seniors, sometimes less than 20% effectiveness for those in their 70s and 80s, and that protection faded incredibly fast. If you had that old shot, you are not covered. The premium upgrade is a recombinant vaccine. Instead of a live virus, it uses a highly purified protein combined with an adjuvant. An adjuvant is an added ingredient that acts like a biological megaphone, screaming at your aging immune system to wake up and build a massive, impenetrable defense. This upgrade is called Shingrix. It is over 90% effective, which is an absolute triumph of modern medicine for older adults. Yes, your arm will ache. You might feel tired or achy for a day. Do not let that scare you. That soreness is the physical sensation of that biological megaphone working exactly as it should. If you or someone you know has ever battled that shattered glass nerve pain, you know exactly why I take this so seriously. Drop a comment below if you've seen firsthand how debilitating shingles can be. Now, let's talk about the third upgrade on our list. The one that catches millions of responsible seniors off guard every single autumn, the flu shot. You go to the pharmacy, you roll up your sleeve, and you inadvertently receive the standard dose meant for a healthy 30-year-old. For younger people, the flu means a miserable week in bed. But for adults over 65, the flu kicks the door open for severe pneumonia, floods the body with dangerous inflammation, and can directly trigger a heart attack or stroke. Between 70 and 85% of all flu-related deaths occur in people over 65. A standard flu shot simply doesn't have enough antigen, the active ingredient that trains your immune system, to provoke a strong response in an older body. It's like trying to wake a heavy sleeper by gently tapping on their door. You need to ask for the high-octane upgrades, and there are two you should look for. The first is a high-dose flu vaccine, such as Fluzone High Dose. It contains exactly 4 times the amount of antigen as a standard shot. It knocks the door down to ensure your immune system answers. The second option is an adjuvanted flu vaccine, like Fluad, which uses that biological megaphone we just talked about to aggressively amplify your body's response. This fall, do not just walk in and say, "I'm here for my flu shot." Look the pharmacist in the eye and ask, "Are you giving me the high-dose or adjuvanted senior flu vaccine?" The fourth upgrade on our checklist requires a complete shift in how you think, because this one isn't about protecting yourself. It's about protecting the absolute most vulnerable person in your family. Most adults over 50 believe they are doing the right thing by getting a standard tetanus booster, the TD shot, every 10 years. It protects against tetanus and diphtheria. But it is missing one crucial letter. It does not protect against pertussis, better known as whooping cough. In a healthy adult, whooping cough feels like nothing more than a stubborn, lingering throat tickle. But in a newborn baby who hasn't built up any immunity yet, it is catastrophic. Their tiny airways, the size of a drinking straw, fill with severe inflammation. I treated a patient, a 64-year-old grandfather in Seattle named Marcus. He had a dry cough he blamed on the crisp winter air. He visited his brand new granddaughter and spent the afternoon rocking her to sleep. He had absolutely no idea he was silently shedding the pertussis bacteria. That beautiful baby girl ended up on a ventilator for a week. Marcus was devastated. He thought his standard TD booster meant he was perfectly safe to be around her. The upgrade you must ask for is called Tdap. The P stands for pertussis. Medical professionals call this strategy cocooning, wrapping the newborn in a protective bubble of immunized adults. If there is any chance you are going to be near a new baby, do not wait for your scheduled 10-year booster. Go to the pharmacy and ask specifically for Tdap. That one single letter is the difference between being the safest place in the world for that child and being the reason they end up in the pediatric intensive care unit. That brings us to the fifth and final upgrade on our list. And this is the newest, most critical shield for the 60-plus demographic, one that the vast majority of seniors have not received yet, simply because they don't know it exists. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. For decades, most people, and honestly, even a lot of doctors, thought of RSV strictly as a childhood illness. It was the virus that caused the sniffles and mild respiratory distress in toddlers. But recent, undeniable clinical data has completely rewritten what we know about this virus, and the reality is chilling. In older adults, RSV doesn't just cause a mild winter cold. It penetrates deep into the lower respiratory tract. It aggressively exacerbates underlying conditions that you might currently have perfectly under control, like asthma, COPD, or mild congestive heart failure. Every single year, RSV sends tens of thousands of seniors to the emergency room, and tragically, thousands of them never make it back home. Because it was viewed primarily as a pediatric problem for so long, the medical community didn't have an approved, targeted shield for older adults. You were left completely exposed, but that changed recently. We now have an RSV vaccine specifically engineered, approved, and highly recommended for adults age 60 and older. It is a triumph of modern immunology. It utilizes advanced protein technology to give your aging immune system the exact biological blueprint it needs to recognize and neutralize this threat before it takes root in your lungs. But here is the massive gap in the system. Because this upgrade is relatively new, it is almost never offered by default. Think about your last doctor's appointment. Your physician has maybe 15 minutes to check your blood pressure, review your medications, listen to your heart, and ask about your sleep. Preventive vaccines often get pushed to the very bottom of the list, or outsourced entirely to a rushed pharmacy technician. You cannot wait for them to bring it up. You have to be the one to advocate for yourself. You have to look them in the eye and ask, am I eligible for the senior RSV vaccine today? Endarn so en quasir marcal. Now, I want you to do something very important for me. Grab a pen and a piece of paper, or open the Notes app on your smartphone right now. I am going to give you the definitive 5-point checklist. When you walk into that clinic or pharmacy this season, these are the exact phrases you need to use. This is how you guarantee you are getting the premium, senior-grade upgrades, not the outdated standard doses. Number 1, for pneumonia, do not accept the older, unconvincing polysaccharide shot. Ask specifically for PCV20 or Prevnar 20. This is the conjugate vaccine that physically binds the threat to a loud biological alarm bell your body cannot ignore. Number 2, for shingles, ensure you are getting Shingrix. It is a 2-dose recombinant powerhouse that is over 90% effective for older adults. If you had the old live virus vaccine years ago, your protection is gone. You still need this upgrade. Number 3, for the flu, you must ask for the high-dose flu vaccine or the Adjuvanted senior flu vaccine. Do not let them hand you the standard dose meant for a healthy 30-year-old. Number 4, for your tetanus booster, ask for Tdap with a BMP, NC, Shingrix P. That P covers pertussis. This is the only way you build a protective cocoon around the vulnerable newborns and infants in your family. And number 5, for deep respiratory protection, ask if you are due for the new RSV vaccine specifically designed for adults over 60. I want to leave you with this final thought. Aging does not mean you have to simply accept a weaker defense. It does not mean you are destined to be fragile or vulnerable to every winter bug that circulates. Science has figured out exactly how to bypass the natural, inevitable changes in your immune system, giving you the exact same fighting chance you had 30 years ago. But the medical system is massive. It is slow to change, and it relies far too heavily on defaults. You didn't do anything wrong by taking the standard shots in the past. You were just following the rules. But when you walk through those pharmacy doors from now on, you are no longer a passive passenger in your own healthcare. You are an informed, highly capable advocate. You know exactly what your body needs to thrive, and you know exactly how to ask for it. You have the control. I want to know what your next step is. Leave a comment below using one of these 3 phrases so I know exactly where you stand. Comment starting today if you just wrote down this exact checklist. Comment asking my doctor if you are bringing these specific names to your next medical appointment. Comment sending this if you already know exactly who in your life needs to hear this message. And please, take a moment right now to hit the share button. Send this video in a text message to your spouse, your siblings, or any friend in your life over 60 who rolls up their sleeve every year thinking they are fully covered. You might literally save them a trip to the ICU this winter. Save this video to your medical playlist so you can pull it up while you are sitting in the pharmacy waiting area. If you found this empowering, subscribe to the channel. I am here to give you the exact, science-backed tools you need to protect your health, your family, and your independence. I'm Dr. Robert Harrison. Stay sharp, stay protected, and I will see you in the next video.